Hi everyone.
Hi Priya, good morning.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hello ma'am. Good. How are
Hi,
you?
Priya. Good morning.
Good, everyone good. Okay. Yes.
Priya, I have sent you two assignments on that assignment Selenium email.
Okay. Yes, you will get a reply. No worries. Okay. When did you send?
I sent it yesterday, like in the US evening only, like Sunday evening. Sorry,
Okay.
Monday
Yeah.
evening. Monday evening.
Okay, fine. You will get the answers. Okay. It will be verified. Fine. What we discussed in the last class? Yes. Any questions? Any answers?
We discussed regarding exception handling.
Okay. Yes. What is exception handling?
When
Yes.
we get errors which are marked in red and we need to fix them, maybe the syntax is wrong or the code is correct, but it is not giving the correct run method. Like
Mm.
you're right, but we are not getting the correct answer.
Okay, then we use exception handling. Complete the answer, is it?
Yes, so we handle them. There is a code called try and catch method.
Mm.
There are different types of exceptions, like 10 exceptions, SQL exception, class
Mm.
not exception, runtime exception, arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, index out of bounds exception, array index out of bounds exception.
Okay, what is exception? When the exception will occur, can we have some answers? Can anyone else try? Yes. Ravali, can you please try? What is exception?
Actually, Java exceptional is like to handle runtime errors, Priya. And we get sometimes unwanted and unexpected events when the program runs. So the process of responding to it is called exception handling. And we have few types of exception handlings, that is input output exception, SQL exception handling. uh, am I going right, Priya?
Yes. So when a exception will occur, it's a runtime error. It's not a syntax error, Neha. So syntax errors are cannot handled by the exception handling try catch. So I have a error. Suppose there is semicolon missing, and if I write in a try catch block, will it handle, guys? Tell me.
No, Priya.
No, it's not going to handle. So the definition of exception handling is it will handle a runtime errors, and runtime errors are not the errors which are displayed in red mark. Those are not highlighted by compiler. Those are runtime we get. So the exceptions are unwanted behavior, or there are some logically it is maybe incorrect, syntactically it's correct, and due to which we get into the error situation and program will not run further. We want to avoid those situations because those are not the errors, or those are not immediately displayed as a error mark that we can fix it immediately. It's something occurs at a runtime, so we have to handle those, otherwise the code will not run. Okay, whatever code we are writing and code is not going to execute, meaning it's a waste, right? Whatever we have written a code.
What is
Hmm.
difference between compile time error and runtime error?
Okay, fine. Tell me. So now there is a semicolon missing or there is a bracket missing. What is it, guys? Tell me. The error we have, syntax error. This is compile time error. Like it's immediately displayed. It's error. So you are missing with semicolon. It's a syntax error, right? You have to follow the syntax. This cannot be fixed. Now you have written a program syntax wise, it's completely correct. Okay, there is no error, nothing. You have everything working fine, or you have written a program which is completely fine. Okay, suppose we have some program. Exception handling. Suppose we have some program. So suppose we are writing this program. In this, there is no error. Where is the error? Do you have any red error here displayed?
No, Priya.
Okay, it's a, if you see this program is correct. Okay, there can be string with null values. Okay, you can check the size of a string. Okay, syntax wise it's correct, but logically if you think, when it is null, there is no point to find a length. So if you logically think there is a error, but this can occur because there will be multiple people writing the code. Okay, and you have so many things runtime, what it will happen, we don't know. So we are going to, yes, Monica, able to see the screen? Not able to see the screen?
No, Priya, I can't see the screen.
Its screen is shared, guys. Can you please disconnect and connect again?
Yeah, I will.
Guys, able to see the screen?
Yes, Priya.
Yes, okay. So, able to see, it's good. So, runtime errors are, those errors are not highlighted, okay? That is, you can say, those are not compile time errors. So, compile time errors are, now immediately you get an error because semicolon is missing, that we are following. So, now consider a situation, you have written everything correct and you have long code, like hundreds of lines of code, and there is some exception. Like at this line, there is exception and your program is not further executing. Okay, run as Java application and it is not executing. There is exception and entire code, hundreds of lines of code is not getting executed. Is it okay, Neha? Tell me.
Priya, can you
Because,
repeat?
okay. So suppose you have hundreds of lines of code. Okay. And your code is not executing because of the exception. Something occurred at runtime and your code is not working. Is that okay?
No, Priya.
Because why we are writing code, why we are putting efforts, so that we get desired output, right? So there is no error, which is logically there is error, but syntax wise, if I say there is no error, so I am not able to find it out, then the I am not getting output also, then I will be thinking a lot, right? What will happen or what is the issue? Then if you read at it, few things you can understand, few things are not easy to understand as well. So every time whenever we write a code, we have to make sure that we use proper try catch blocks, exception handling, so that runtime errors are also solved. So we have to think logically in advance that okay, this code might be creating some exception, so let me write in a try. Okay, as a programmer, we have to think it in advance that okay, this program may create an exception and my rest of the program may not work. So let me write it in a try and catch so that it is handled. Now, how the try catch will work? Try will always followed by catch. There can be multiple catch blocks after a try. You can write the first exceptions catch should be the specific ones, generic exception we write at the end, because generic exception E will match all the exceptions. Okay, so all exceptions will match, so we should write it at the end. If we write first, it will create a dead code. Okay, so try will always be followed by catch. There should be at least one catch, but you can have multiple catch blocks. Now what we will write in a catch block? Catch will take a parameter which is a exception object. Whenever there is a exception in a try block, a matching exception catch block will be executed where the exception will match. Okay. Yes, clear till this point, everyone is clear with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now there are two types of exceptions: checked exception, unchecked exception. If you are working with file, you get a checked exception. So compiler will give you error that this file, if it is not having the file, okay, there is no file at a particular location that you have given. So compiler will give you a warning that, okay, this code might go in a exception. So we get a check about it. So that is checked exception, and other exceptions are unchecked exceptions. So compiler is not going to give us a warning about unchecked exceptions. Okay. And there is a finally block. What is finally block? A try will have a code where the exception might occur. It's not sure. Okay. There should be the exception. It's not the case. There might be the exception. Then whenever there is a exception that is occurred, catch block will be executed, which is having matching exception object. Now we can write a finally block. What is finally block? Finally will not have any parameter. Finally is the only block that will be executed always. Always meaning is even though there is exception or not. Even an exception occur or not, it will execute. And it's a optional block. Optional meaning is tell me.
Can be there, it cannot be there. Like we may give it, we may
Yes.
not.
Even you write, do not write, it will not affect at all. It is not going to change anything. So even if you do not write finally, try catch will work. There is no problem. Even if you write, there is no problem. Even if you do not write, then also no problem. But if you write, it will execute. So what we write in a finally, the code which we want to show the user some information. This is a finally block. It's an optional block, so you can skip it completely. Okay. But if you write it, it will execute. So in the output, you will get a print statement, whatever you write. So in finally, generally we print, this is a finally block. Okay. Finally block of this exception. So we can make sure that, okay, this exception finally block is executed. So there is exception or not will be understood by catch block statements are executed. So which catch block statements are executed, on that basis we can say, okay, this is the exception that occur and this is printed. Okay. So finally is an optional block and it will execute. Okay. Clear? So we get interview question. What is final and finally? What is final and finally? We get a question. So what is final? We will see. Okay, final is keyword. Suppose you have one variable. What is final int marks? So a variable can be final. Now, whenever your variable is final, what is meaning of final? It is constant. So marks is 50. You cannot change. So again, you cannot assign some other value. So I want to change it to 30. You cannot change it because remove the final modifier of marks, because final meaning is it's constant. It's not going to change. So what values we write in a final? Suppose you are calculating area of circle. So wherever you go, or wherever you are trying to calculate a area of circle, the pi value will be 3.14 in any place in the world. Okay. So it is a double I'll take. So the values which are universal, the values which will not change, those we will take final. Okay. Yes. So marks will not change, right? Whatever marks you have received are the final marks. Okay. The final mark sheet you get it is the final marks. Yes. For every possible exam, there is a marks are final. Okay. Is it possible that we can write only finally block without a try catch? No. Finally, you cannot write without a try catch. So if you want to write a block, simply you write a block without anything. That is possible. Why you want to write a finally? And without anything. Okay. Finally, you cannot write. It's not the keyword. It cannot be recognized. So you write a block, which is not nothing. There is no keyword or nothing. You just write some statements in that block. Fine. So final is constant. Now final meaning is constant. The values which will not change throughout the program execution. So final variable value will not change throughout the program execution. So in one class, you are creating final variable, and in the child class, suppose you are changing, you are not allowed to change. Okay. So as long as program is executing, we cannot change. What is final? Let me write it here. Okay. So what is final? Final is a keyword in Java to make any variable constant. Any type of variable, you can make it as constant. Constant meaning is value of a final variable can't be changed throughout the program execution. So as long as the program, before the run, you can change or you can assign any value. So before the run, I give 60. Now in this code, you cannot write marks equals to some other value. Suppose after this, you are changing inside this marks equals to 20. Okay, this marks will be considered as a new variable. It is allowing. Okay, but it won't allow. So marks is final. As long as it is final, you cannot change a value. Okay. What is finally? So what is the difference between final and finally? This is an interview question we get. So final, finally. Finally is a block of code. So how we write is a optional block of code. in exception handling. Okay. Yes, where we have finally in exception handling, we can write finally block after try and catch block. Yes, is it clear?
Sure.
Finally block will be executed even though exception occur or not. So it will be executed always. Okay. It's an optional block of code in exception handling. We write finally after a try catch. Finally is a block. Okay. Finally is a keyword, which is variable will be constant because of final keyword. Okay. So this is finally is block of code. Yes, clear? Okay, make a note of this. Is it possible we can write only finally block? No, Pragna. Okay.
Priya, can you give us an example for that finally block? Because what we need to write code in it? Like for a cache block, like we'll write the exception output, but finally,
Yes.
what we'll write?
Okay, yes. We'll create one class. Okay. Exception demo. And we'll see exception handling in this. Okay. So we'll create a array of marks and which will have values. Suppose there are 3 values in it. Okay. Now, marks of 1 equals 2. I want to change value 20. So one index value is 20. Yes. What is 0 index value? Yes. So what
10.
is 0? Marks of 0?
10.
10. Okay. So now I want to change it to 15. And 1 equals to 16. Okay. And 2 is something we want to change 21. And marks of 3, I want to change it to 18. So these are the marks. Now, and what we will do is, so print the marks. Okay. And run this program. Okay. What is the exception here? There is no element 3. Last element index is, so it starts from 0, 1, 2. So if it is starting from 0, last element index is 2. There is no value 3. So we are getting array index out of bound exception index 3 out of bound for a length of 3. Yes, is it correct? So the size is by default 3. Whenever we create an array with this 3 value, size is 3. So this is a 4th value you are trying to store, which will not allow. So what we have to write? We have to write this code in a try so that we handle a error. Okay. So these
Oh.
4 lines I will write in a try. Or you can write
Okay.
only this line in a try. Now we'll write a catch. Okay. So I will write a catch which is array index out of bound exception, and we'll print some values. Okay. So this is the exception plus e dot print stack trace. Whatever the errors are, it will print entirely. Okay. So what is the issue? Fine. So entire object we will print. Let it. Now I'll write a one more catch. We can write multiple catch blocks. Yes. So now I'll write only exception. Exception E. And we'll write a exception block executed. Okay, array index bound exception block executed. So which block executed we will get to know. Now I'll write finally. And we'll write finally block. So that we get to know that this is a finally block print statement. Okay, that's it. Now, fine. And at the end marks, we are trying to print this entire array. We'll run the program. Is it okay? The program is fine? See, array index out of bound exception block executed. Which block executed? The catch, first catch executed. So if you do not have this, which catch will be executed? Now run it. The exception, whichever the exception we have, will match with this. Whatever exceptions we get will match with this exception E. Everything will match. Yes, yes or no, guys?
Yes, Priya.
Still the exception is handled. Exception block executed. Finally block is also executed. But what is the value? It is only the address of this marks is printed, okay, which is some hexadecimal value, which is printed. Let us write a for loop and write integer I equals to 0, I less than marks dot size, okay, dot length we have, and I plus plus, okay. And in this we will write marks of I. Yes. Able to understand why we are writing for loop? To print each value, single value. So for loop will execute with 0 index. 0 index value is 15, then 16, then 20. Why the values? The new values are printed because we assigned those values, right? Try will execute. Try is not because we do not want to execute that code. Try is the compiler will execute with little consciousness. Okay, there might be the exception. So let me catch it with the catch block. That's it. Catch is going to catch it. Try will execute. Whatever code we write in try, it will execute. Fine. Is it okay? Able to understand? So this is the finally block. Now, if you have one more catch block, okay. So one more catch block you have, for example, and in this we are writing array index out of bounds exception. Okay. So why it is what it is saying? Remove the catch clause. Catch, because this is array index out of bound exception is already handled with this catch exception E. So this is creating a dead block. Yes. So we have a error. But if this catch we are writing before this catch, so it will be correct one. Okay. Fine. So this is the difference. If you write this catch after a generic catch, there is no need actually, right? You don't need this. Now we should only write it before, or you do not write it. This is about try catch finally. So make a note of this program. Okay, I'll give it in the chat. We'll see one more example. Yes, is it clear? Okay, so we'll write one more exception code. Fine. Yes, completed. Can we move further? Exception demo 2. So, for example, we have integer percentage. And suppose we are calculating percentage and you have total marks. So, maths marks you have something and English marks or some other values. Okay. So, while calculating percentage, suppose you have created some other, okay, some other details, integer, it is 0. Consider that, and you are dividing by 0. Okay, what is this maths is? It's a marks, okay, integer. Simple something this we have, and we are printing the percentage. So we get an exception here, arithmetic exception, divide by 0. What is divide by 0? You cannot divide a number by 0 in any case, right? So we get an exception. We are able to see at line number 11, we have exception, it is showing. Okay, line number 12, we have exception. Let me run it again. You see line number 12, this is the exception. So this is the line number. And we have exception, which is divided by 0. Now, how to fix it? Can you please tell me? Who will tell? Which code should be in a try?
The variables should be in try, or the per can be in try block.
Okay, this is 2 answers. Someone else? Yes. Just a hint. Like you tell me, just like you feel, okay, this is should be in a try. Otherwise, there should not be a try. You can tell.
We should put them in the try and catch block. All the variables and the per in try, and the system that auto print outline that should be in the catch.
Okay. Why variables in the try? Not needed.
Not
If you write,
mandatory.
then also it's not incorrect. But if you write, it's not correct. We don't need that. Okay. So we are writing try where the exception will occur. If you are very sure, okay, at this line there will be exception is going to occur in future, then obviously I'll write only one statement only. Okay. I'll not write all the statements in the try because the scope of variables will be within a block in Java. So if you declare these variables inside a try, then you cannot use these variables outside this block. Okay. So if you are declaring percentage also inside a try, what will happen? Percentage is also inside the block, it is the scope is inside. So outside of this try, the variables are not available. So variables will be outside try. In this case, we are very particular. We are sure about, okay, this says at this line there will be exception. So whatever is. So now because of the exception, it is not calculated also. Okay. We will assign some 0 value by default. Okay. So that error is gone. Now we'll run it. So what is the output? Arithmetic exception. It is printing as it is this statement. Okay. And 0 marks. Now, this is how we handle an exception. We write catch. So now in the previous example, why did we write all these? Because tentatively I'm writing everything in a Why? Because there might be exception at this line or this line. If you are very sure, okay, at this line only there will be exception. So all these statements you write outside. And this is not variable declaration. Variable declaration is outside. Okay, these are the statements. Variable declaration is different. Statements are different. Yes, what is variable declaration? The scope will be decided. Okay, where the visibility is of that variable will be decided. So we declare outside. Assigning values, you can do it inside a block. That will not matter much. Okay. Now this is about a try catch. Now here also I can write a finally. So in general, finally is optional block. So people, even if you write a statement, this is a finally block. Okay. That's it. Finally block for a arithmetic exception or a exception. Okay. Those details will fine.
Can you give the code?
Yes.
Chat.
Yes. Yes. Completed. Okay. Able to understand? Completed? So write a code for exception handling for a string. String equals to string str equals to null and size equals to str dot length. And you handle a exception using a try catch finally. Okay, this is assignment. What is assignment? So you have to create an exception by assigning string value to null and handle the exception. Yes, can you handle this exception? Null pointer exception? Write a code. Yes?
Yes, Priya.
Okay, write it. Everyone write. And we'll start from tomorrow Selenium, guys. Okay? So, some of topics, if there are any in terms of Java, we will cover in Selenium. So, in Selenium, wherever Java points will come, those we will cover based on the topic. So, we'll start with Selenium and installation, basic stuff already we discussed. We will start with Selenium topics in detail. Okay. Any questions? No?
Priya, what is the throws exception? Something we write IO
Yes.
exception and
Yes.
what
So
it
that
is?
is, we will see in Selenium class, but still I will answer that question. So if you have a method, now there is a main method. Main is a method. Yes. If you have some checked exceptions are handled because check the exceptions, compiler is going to give you the error. Now I want to resolve the error. So I will write throws. So what will happen? Throws IO exception. If I write that warning is suppressed. Okay. That warning is gone now. Okay. And throws meaning is this method is going to throw a IO exception. Okay. This is one of the way to handle exception, which is checked exception. It is not actually going to handle, it is just going to suppress that warning. Okay. So throws is just informing the compiler that this method can throw, but there is no catch block. So actually it is not exception handling proper. It is not exception handling, but you can just suppress the warning. Okay. It is just going to delete that warning. Okay. Throws is a keyword used to suppress the checked exception warnings. It is not actually we are handling the exception, but it is one of the way to handle an exception, which is just minimizing the errors. Okay, actually it is not going to handle. Try catch is the proper way to handle exception. Okay. We will see
Suppose if
this.
in case like we couldn't able to do the try and catch, then we can directly write the throws exception. Is it
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes. We can write throws also. Okay. So in a next class, we will see throws examples as well, particularly if you guys are interested. So we'll cover throws, one of the example, and then we'll start with Selenium. Okay. So throws is simple, a small topic. Then we will start with Selenium. Okay, guys. This is about. So exception handling is clear. Very important topic. You write this program. So how many of you are able to write this, or will you be able to write? Pragyan, do we have? Can you write this? Vasudha, Priyanka, tell me. Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I can write.
Okay, fine. Okay, guys, then we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.
You, Priya.
Yeah, this is Pradya. So I had sent you my CV via mail.
Okay.
Could you
Yes,
please check?
I'll preview Pragya. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Pragya.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes. Yes, I received your mail. Okay. I'll send you a reply. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Priya.